Republicans.
Wait, Tommy. What? Yeah.
I will now reconvene the 112th session of the House of Representatives. The chair now recognizes.
I got some questions to ask you.
I'll be leaving the Republican Party and joining the Democrats. I understand that this is not how you elected me. However, the blatant disregard of the basic rights of American citizens has left me with no choice. The representatives of the Republican Party have no qualms with racial profiling and denying Americans of their First and Fourth Amendment rights. Because of the interests of my district and how those interests greatly contrast the interests of the Republican Party, I feel it is necessary for me to leave the Republican Party and become a Democrat. This bill is important and the implications are severe. Security is important, but it does not have to come at the price of civil liberties and Fourth Amendment rights. In strong opposition, I cannot pretend to identify with those who plan to pass it. At the beginning of today's caucus, Representative Hammonds came up to me and told me that he had done some thinking last night and he realized that yesterday he was on the wrong side of the bill by being in support of the bill. Only after caucusing with the Democrats did he then refer back to the Republicans. Representative Hammonds also attempted to bribe me back to the Republican Party by offering me money as compensation for my vote on the bill.
You can have 9 and don't. 2 points. That's 24 points. That's an FRQ.
I just wanted to state that yesterday, Congressperson Tom Hammonds assaulted me with a water bottle, and I fear for my life. Thank you.
During today's debate, Representative Hammonds threw a pen across the room and hit our Majority Leader, Representative Frog.
He just threw a pen at Kelly.
He said the only reason he was staying with the Republicans was because he felt bad for them. Where do Representative Hammond's morals lie?
The idea that someone would be so intimidated by this would is unreasonable. Can we get this microphone out of here? I'm not a big fan of these microphones all over. How much time do I? Yeah. I would also like to draw attention to the fact that this is an all-white party over there. Right there. Speaking as a minority.
Again, can we have silence, please?
Our party, unlike yours, knows what it's like to be discriminated against. I'd like to use my time bill. Thank you.
Okay, this is Amendment 1 to the bill. It has 2 parts. Part 1.1 says that the United States government is allowed to wiretap. However, a warrant is necessary, and said warrant must be acquired before one starts wiretapping. And 1.2 says that midnight shifts be created for judges so that it's not necessary to wait until morning to acquire a warrant.
So we can have wiretaps faster and more efficiently, then we'll be able to get better evidence and make sure that we keep them in custody rather than having them escape. I also like to address 1.2 of his amendment, midnight shifts. Most people who reach the state of a judge are elderly and would not be working a midnight shift as a judge. I don't think that's realistic either.
We also have the precedent of Katz versus the United States that says that monitoring and recording private conversations in a house or in other places in the United States constitutes a search under the Fourth Amendment, and therefore the government must obtain a warrant before undertaking wiretapping, especially in domestic concerns.
This bill, without Representative Klein's amendment, is a violation of Fourth Amendment and First Amendment rights, and thus the Constitution. This cannot be denied. As a strong advocate of civil liberties, I do not believe this bill should be passed into law without Honorary Representative Klein's amendment.
My party and I are not averse to counterterrorism in the least. The threat that we face is real and dangerous, which is why we still see wiretaps as a tool in the counterterrorist toolbox. Yeah, and we are willing to compromise to let them stay. These improvements to this bill have significantly altered its contents to a point where it not only protects civil liberties, but it strengthens counterterrorist agencies as well.
All in favor? All against? All right, the motion to add on an amendment made by the Honorary Representative Cryan has been added on to this bill. Congressman Polite, thank you for the interview. How's it going?
Wait, can you restart that? We gotta fight. We can't just lay down and let it happen. I'm actually quite disappointed because they're arguing civil liberties, but then again, they are the party that is supported these TSA groping pat-downs. They're only going to vote party line. They're not going to vote based on their morals when we could have passed this. I just feel disappointed that they're not going to support an amendment I chose where we would be able to record conversations and then listen to them once a warrant is granted. What I like to read? I like to read the National Review.
The president just gave an executive order coinciding with what we're proposing. All right? We're saying that
Within 5 hours.
we tap these phones, we look into people's records, and we get warrants after the fact. All right? We're not just gonna like ignore warrants altogether. This isn't gonna turn into Soviet Russia. We're gonna get warrants.
What the president said in his executive order is that one could get a warrant 5 hours after wiretapping, and the principle here is that you cannot wiretap on citizens without a warrant. So even 5 hours, a week, or a year, it's still the same to us.
Well, you didn't.
Where?
You took it away, so okay.
I proposed to Representative Cryan an amendment to my own bill that would say that we could record phone conversations and then get a warrant after them. We're going to record them. They're going to be on file and no one will touch these. And once a warrant is granted, then we can get that stuff we would have missed. Who knows what we're going to miss in these 5 hours? These 5 hours, these 2 seconds could be crucial in this time.
I feel that as an alternative to excessive wiretapping, I would like to propose an increase in funding for local law enforcement. The real solution lies in the people on the ground more so than legislation. So I've ultimately decided to vote in line with the Democratic Party.
Yeah, really. Is what we're doing unreasonable? Is the protection of America against terrorists looking to destroy us unreasonable?
People will be scared that the government is listening in on everything that they say, regardless of if they are suspected terrorists or not. This law could lead to a new era of McCarthyism, in which people are terrified that they will be thrown into jail for merely discussing their opinions. Wiretapping without a warrant and written just cause oversteps the boundaries of the America that the framers of the Constitution created. The free speech of America will be curbed with this act. In closing, I would like to share the words of Benjamin Franklin. Those who sacrifice liberty for security deserve neither.
Originally, I thought wiretapping would benefit the American people, especially in times of heightened national security, such as now. However, the more I thought about it, I realized that this was nothing more than an encroachment on civil liberties. And the people that would be hurt would not be terrorists, because after all, only 1 in 50 wiretaps results in any sort of evidence that can be used, as we heard from the announcement from the media before, but it would hurt normal Americans, like the lower middle class, blue collar workers that make up my constituency. So in all good conscience, I cannot support this bill because it would destroy the freedom which I have fought so hard to bring to my people. Thank you.
This country was founded on a small, specific set of core values ingrained into the American consciousness and enumerated in the Bill of Rights. Yet in our fervor to defend this country from the still new and complex threat of terrorism, those core values have become the things that we deem necessary to sacrifice for the good of national security. But I ask all of you here today, if we would give up the basic principles of our democracy for security, then what exactly are we protecting? If we are to turn our backs on our entire history, then soon we will realize that the country we're protecting looks nothing like America at all. Thank you.
Breaking news, a major announcement. The Senate has just voted by a vote of 55 to 45 to kill the legislation. This means that even if it passes in the House, there is no chance of it becoming a law. Thank you very much.
Brad, why are you wearing a scarf?
Because it's sexy.